Hi everybody. Today, let's see, what is today? Today is January 29th, 2026. It's Thursday. It's 2 p.m. Central Time, which means it's time for Expressions by Lish class to go. Anyway, today I am sharing Woolly Friends bundle by Stampin' Up, and that is what I'm using for my class to go today. If you're here, I'd love for you to say hello and tell me where you are watching from. I'm just on my phone here. I have to have both going, so sometimes the comments don't always flood in. So yeah, how's everybody today? Okay, if you would like to leave a comment, please do so. I think I have a message here. Hold one second. Let's just give people more the second. Sorry. We're pausing for just 1 second. Okay. It is 2 o'clock. It is Thursday, January 26th. It is Thursday, January 29th, 2026. Hi, Lori. And I am live. I believe I was having a couple technical difficulties at the beginning, but I think that we're good now. I just want to make sure that my phone and my computer are together because I don't always see the comments on my computer. So, all right, let's get started. Hi, I'm Alicia. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, and I live in St. Paul, Minnesota. If you're watching, I'd love for you to say hello. Where are you watching from? I am using the Woolly Friends bundle, which is super cute. I absolutely love it. And if you have the bundle or you like the bundle, give me a comment. Let's see what you think. Have you played with it yet? I absolutely love, love, love it. Okay, so let's go on my table so we can get started. There we go. All right. So in the mini catalog, you will find Woolly Friends on page 51 of the mini catalog. It is a punch bundle. It is called a builder punch, which means that you build what you're making. So you're building a sheep. So you have his body and his head, and then you'll also have a bow and a belt. So that's why it's called a builder punch. And yeah, so if that's what it is on page 51, and it is called Woolly Friends Bundle. All right. So let's get our cards out here. So how are you today, Lori? It is nice and cold still. I'm not sure if it's still below zero or not. I know when I got up this morning, I don't think it's below zero, but when I got up this morning, it was like 5 below. And it's like, come on. Oh, yay, Mom, you found it. Good. Good, good. I hope the stump set comes back before your special is over. I know, fingers crossed. I check it like constantly, even though you can sign up for the email to say when it's back in stock. But yeah, I really hope that it does too. Okay, so normally we do 4 cards. We have done 5 before, but today we're doing 5 because this stamp set or this bundle is just too cute. I could have kept making cards with this. This is so much fun. Okay, so
We have this one, Sending Flowers and Sunshine, You Make Me Happy, Welcome Cutie, You're simply fabulous. I mean, come on, how much cuter can those sentiments be? All right, so I'm going to move these out of the way and let's open up the first kit you will receive from me. So, when you make a purchase in my online store, up until Sunday, I think is that February 1st? Yeah, oh my gosh, that's February 1st. So you have through February 1st to place your order of $50 or more. You will receive the card kits from me as a thank you gift. So everything that I'm showing you that's in the envelopes, you will receive. I am starting something a little bit different with my instructions, and I am going to be starting a stamping guideline on the second page. The first page would be your cover sheet for your instructions, and then the second page will show, it will be a picture of an 8.5 by 5.5 sheet of cardstock, white cardstock, which is a half of a sheet, and it will have, I will show you, and you'll receive that in your kit instead of a bunch of little pieces of basic white cardstock. And then I will show you what you need to do for stamping and die cutting and how it maps it out for you. So now, and it will also be in a picture on your PDF. So, okay. So we will do that once we start stamping. So I'm going to set this aside. So that will be in your kit, and that is for um, all of your cards for the kit. Okay. Yeah, Mom, I've noticed that it keeps going in and out. The live feed does. Yeah, broken connection. I don't know what's going on. I think Facebook's having some issues is the only thing I can think of. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we can keep going and it starts behaving itself. Okay, so you will receive a, yeah, I'm getting the same thing. It keeps saying waiting for live video signal. Yeah, I'm getting that too, and I'm not exactly sure why that's happening. Like I said, I think it's Facebook has been really touchy with their Facebook Live recently. And so, yeah, I'm going to give it another week or two, and then I'm probably going to end up switching over to YouTube for my lives. So it just hasn't been um, predictable, I guess is a good word. Okay, so you're going to have a Highland Heather card base. You'll receive a piece of basic white cardstock for the inside of your card and also for the mat on the front. You'll receive a piece of, a second, let me get my pieces here. You'll receive a piece of fresh freesia that will be cut and embossed, and this will be embossed with the embossing folder all in a row. You'll receive a piece of bubble bath cardstock that will be cut for you. This is for you to stamp your sentiment on. And you'll receive a piece of Highland Heather cardstock. I just totally lost my whole train. The train just left the station. Okay, so Highland Heather, this will be a die cut for you with the stylish shapes dies, and you'll receive a basic white circle cut from the Spotlight in Nature that will be cut for you. So basically, if it's not in the bundle, it will be done for you. So therefore, it will be embossed and the dies will be cut for you for whatever we use for the cards. All right. So the first thing that we're going to do is, yeah, YouTube consistently. Yes, yeah, Lori, you're right. It just, I don't know. Facebook has been really kind of wonky lately. Because like already I've lost my comments on my computer screen, but I have them on my phone. So you have to have like multiple devices just to do um, a streaming to stream. So, all right. So we're gonna fold and burnish our card base, and we're gonna set that aside. We are going to stamp our sentiment and Sending Flowers and Sunshine. This is
I love this sentiment so much, and it can be used for just about anything. Um, sending flowers and sunshine. Maybe you're sending a birthday wish. Maybe you're just somebody's having a bad day, or it's winter and we just all could use some flowers and sunshine. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this at the top center of my piece of bubble bath cardstock. Okay, so we're going to stamp that. Then I'm going to take my circle and I'm going to grab my stamps because I don't have my stamps all loaded because of how I would want to show you how to do the punching. Okay, but before we do that, I am going to, excuse the noise, I'm going to grab the set of tulips and I'm going to grab the butterfly. Okay, now I'm going to take my tulips and I'm going to ink them up in tuxedo black. And I'm not going to go all the way to the bottom because I want a little bit of grass to be right here. So I'm just going to go on the left-hand side and I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. I'm going to stamp it down. Then I'm going to take my butterfly and I'm going to ink him up in black. And I want that butterfly to look like he's flying away from the flower, the middle tulip. And we're just going to stamp that down just like that. Okay? And then I am going to close this up so I don't make a mess because I'm notorious for getting that everywhere. Then, since we have our tulip out already, I'm just going to get the stamping done right away so that then we can put the card together easy breezy. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this off because I have 2 stamps on 1 block because I'm lazy like that. I'm just going to wipe that off so I don't get it everywhere. Okay, so we're going to open up our black and we are going to put a row 3 tulips at the bottom of our basic white mat that will go on our card front. Okay, and that I'm again not going all the way to the bottom, but pretty close to the bottom. And there we have 1, and I'm just eyeballing it. It does not have to be perfect. 2 and 3. Okay, so we have that now complete. Okay, so let's wipe this off. Get this out of the way. I'm also going to clean my sentiment because we will be using this again in another card. Okay. All right, and I'm going to close this. We will be using it again shortly, but I want to show you how to do the punching template. Okay, so you'll have your piece of cardstock. And I advise for you when you're doing this technique, I guess is what you could call it, is that you have the same size template as your cardstock. So this is 3 1/4 square. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I am going to turn my punch over, and this is on a punch. This is where you open it. You just slide it up like so. Okay, and I am going to take my square and I'm going to put it all the way at the bottom so that it's bottom, and I'm going to look left to right and it seems like it's in there straight, and I'm going to punch this out. I'm not going to use any of these, but this will be used for my template. Okay, so we punch that, and now we have our punching template that was like that, looked like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my piece of basic white and I'm going to put it underneath. Now I'm not going to stamp yet, but what I'm going to do is I am going to put my stamps on this,
and we are going to pick them all up with one block. So because we know which way they go, we're just going to line these up in here. Oops, wrong way. Okay, so you want it to be faced, the stamp like you're stamping it. Then we're going to take our head of our sheep. We're going to do the same thing. We're just lining them up in that where we punched. And I know we're not using the bell or the bow for this card, but I'm going to do it anyway because we can use it on another card. Or I just to show you how to do this. Has anybody tried this technique before with a builder punch? I'm curious to know because I've done it several different ways. But this way, I really like this way. I'm picking everything up with one block. Just seems easy. You'll have an easier time for some. I need to cut my fingernails. Are getting too long. It's hard for me to. They get stuck. The stamps get stuck on my fingernails. Okay. So now we have that. Now I'm going to take my block, and I am using block D. Okay. And oh, Lori, you have not. Well, I hope you like this because I really liked it. Okay, so and now we're just going to pick up our stamps just like this. So now we have our stamps exactly on our block how you would punch them out. Okay, I'm going to leave the template over the top of this. Then I am going to take my ink pad, my tuxedo black, and we're going to ink this up, and we are going to just stamp because we are doing the same size paper. I'm just going to make sure that they're even. I'm going to line it up on my glass mat. If you are using grid paper, you could use that. It does not matter. I just feel better when I have things lined up. And then I'm just going to go and I'm going to stamp right in those spots. Okay, and done. And hopefully I've done this how many times already today, and they seemed like they lined up, but see, I'm on camera, so now it's a little off, but that's okay. So then what you do is then you take your punch and you put your piece in there. Okay, can you see? And now everything is all lined up for you to punch that out. And I'm just making another little look and see, and then you're going to punch. And so my pieces don't go flying everywhere and I lose them. There you go. So that is how I am showing you how to do this for your template for all of these cards. Obviously, there are cards that we're doing that you're stamping on directly on the paper, so you wouldn't need to do this. But this is how you do this 4 times. Okay, well, I suppose I should keep these for the card, right? All right. Okay, and also, you'll also have a template in your instructions that will look like this, and you'll receive a piece of paper in your very first kit like this. Like I said, it's going to be different this week than other weeks. Normally it's going to be an 8.5 by 5.5 sheet of paper. And I show you, you need to stamp 4 heads, okay? And you space them apart so that you can punch them. And when you punch them, you're going to punch them from, the paper goes in this way. So you want to start on this side. Like, don't go like this and punch it because then you're going to wreck all your other ones. So go like this, okay? And then you're just going to line your stamped heads that you stamped, okay? You see that? And you're going to punch.
and you're going to punch. I know my hands are kind of not. So you'll also have that because you'll need some heads that you're stamping directly on the card for. So there's that. So you will also have that in your class to go. And like I said, that will be in the very first envelope in your pack. It will be in card number 1. Okay, Lori, I will do this punch method and keep it in with the stamps. Yeah, that's a really good idea. I do the same thing whenever I have like a template, or if I'm doing a masking technique, I will keep that in the stamp set so that I have it to do another card another time. Okay, so now we have our cute sheep. Isn't he just cute? And now this is a two stamp set, but I am going to color with blends for this one. I do have a card where I show you how to use the stamps and lining them up. So for this, I chose Highland Heather, Fresh Freesia, and Bubble Bath. I'm also going to use a soft sea foam for the grass and the leaves. And I'm going to use Fresh Freesia for the butterfly. Okay, so let's start here. And I'm not going to, per se, I'm just going to color these in. If you want to blend them, you most certainly can, or use the light instead of the dark. But let's just get those colored in. And then since I have this, I'm going to, because I've already stamped everything, so then I can go ahead and stamp, or excuse me, color in the tulips. And we're just going to go like that. And it is okay to leave a little bit of white because your blends will blend into the paper. Okay, so we used Highland Heather. Now let's use Fresh Freesia, and I'm using the dark one. And we're just going to color the butterfly. He's really little. And yeah, just like that. So I hope that that technique helps you. You'll have to let me know if you liked that or not for the PDF instructions, um, or if you'd like to go back to the other way. I'm curious to know which way you like. Okay, so then we have our bubble bath tulip. It's so nice to be thinking of flowers and grass and tulips when it's... Oh, Lori, I honestly can't think of another builder punch I own. Do you have the squirrel? There was a ladybug, I think, and the bumblebee, I think, is a builder. Okay, and then we have our soft sea foam, and again, I'm using the dark. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I am just going to color the bottom of this so it's like a grass hill. But I'm going to color the whole thing, and I'm just scribbling because then I'm going to go with my light blend, and I'm going to fill that in. And I'm going to go in a circle so that it doesn't have any lines. And now I'm not going over the edge border where that has the little cutouts. I'm just going inside that, just like that. Okay, and then what I did was I went with the dark again, and I just made some little lines like that. Just give it a little bit of dimension, like it was little pieces, and you can squiggle like it's grass. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to color our leaves here. So did you have any of those other punches, Lori, that I named off? Okay. And now I'm going to take the light soft sea foam, and I am not going to just color the whole bottom like I did with the circle. I am just going to make just some little shadow lines so that we ground them, so they don't look like they're floating in space. And my light is getting like it needs to be replaced. I'm just going very light-handed. Oh yes, the bee. I resisted the squirrel. I may have the ladybug. I'm trying to think of the other ones. I can't. Those just at the top of my head came up. The ladybug is probably retired and probably the squirrel too, but I think the bee is still around. Okay, so we have our stamping and our coloring done. Oh, let's add a little bit of bubble bath to our sheep. Let's give him some color in the little pink of his ears. And I'm using the light. And then I'm going to color in his nose. And I'm going to just do a little bit of his cheeks to give him a little bit of a rosy cheek. All right. So now I'm going to add some seal to my die cut circle. Maybe. And then we're going to put that on our purple circle. Okay, and I'm going to add seal to my white mat for my card front. We're going to add this. Everything is kind of wiggly. And we're just going to center that and make sure we have even margins all the way around. Then I'm going to take my piece of fresh freesia that I embossed with the all in a row embossing folder, and I am going to put that right about here. Oh, you know what? I don't want to do that yet. I am going to add this. So you want to add your seal or your glue to your panel of fresh freesia, and then you're going to line it up like this. Not all the way, about probably a ½ inch over, and it will look like this. Okay, and then because we placed that down, I'm going to put another strip of seal there. I found that the easiest way instead of trying to line up on the front where to place that bubble bath. So we're going to go right about here. Okay, then we're going to add some seal to our circles, which is our focal point of our card. And we are going to place that right there. Make sure that it's not, and I wonder if that's sticky stuck yet. I should go a little higher up. So maybe the best way to do this is to take your circle in your hand, put it here, and then kind of eye that up. Okay. And if you don't press everything down real hard, you can get it back up again. Okay, so we want that right about here. Now I'm going to rub that down. I'm going to take my sheep and we're going to put some dimensionals on him. And I'm just going to put 2 and then 1. Okay, and because I spent a lot of time at the beginning explaining the PDF instructions, this video is going to go just a little bit longer than normal. Let's see, Lori. The trees in the sell pile. I have the owl, oldie but love it, but some of those I never had the stamps that matched. Oh, okay. I don't think I have either one of those. So I'm going to place my sheep, and he's going to cover up a tulip a little bit, but that's okay. And then I want the head of the sheep to be like this so that he's facing this way. Okay, and then I'm going to use some of the rainbow adhesive back dots, and these come with fresh freesia. So I am going to actually use I'm going to do a little bit different than just making a triangle. I'm going to go 3 right here. It's kind of like old school. Remember when you first started using embellishments? This is kind of how you did it. I'm having a hard time picking my embellishments up today. Well, that one went flying. Did you guys see that? All right. Okay, so then we have that. And then I'm going to take two of these little guys and put them right up here. So it is still kind of, it's not a triangle, but it's still pulling you in to the center of your focal point. Okay, so there we have it. There is card one. What do you guys think? So cute, right? Sending flowers and sunshine. So, so cute. Okay, so now I'm got a mess here, as always. I'm always a mess. Okay, let's start card number two. Okay. And for card number two, you will receive a piece of Pretty in Pink for your card base. I love this card and the embellishments in a line. I know, I do too, Lori. You'll receive a piece of basic white for the inside. You'll receive a piece of basic black to matte, a piece of DSP from the Mixed Patterns DSP set. You'll receive a piece of label that I will punch for you for your sentiment, and a piece of basic black, and a piece of Pretty in Pink. They're the same size, and I did emboss this one in the all in a row, and you'll receive a piece of black baker's twine. Okay, so I know I stamped ahead a bunch of sheep, but I don't know what I did with them. So I might have to stamp again. We'll see. All right, so we're going to stamp, we're going to fold and burnish our card base. Then I'm going to take my piece of DSP, and this will be matted on our basic black mat. And I'm going to add some seal. And add that on there. Okay. Then we're going to turn that over and add seal to the back. And we're going to put this on the front of our Pretty in Pink card base. I just love pink and black together. Ugh, just love, love, love it. Okay, now this might be hard for some of you because it's not going to be straight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the black and I'm going to make it kitty wampus. And then the pink is going to go on that straight. Okay, so we're going to add seal to the basic black because we're going to add dimensionals onto the Pretty in Pink square. Okay, so we're going to turn it just like so. Okay, and then we're going to turn this over and we're going to add some dimensionals. And I am going to use 5 on this one because I want to make sure that there's one in the center so we don't have any sagging. We don't want any sagging on our card, do we? Okay, so we're going to remove the backings. Okay, and we are going to just take this, and like I said, it's going to go straight over the top of your piece of basic black. Now I'm going to take, now this I punched this with the pick a label punch. I think that's what it's called. It's this punch. I don't want to blind you too much because these are, but it's this punch. But I will punch that for you. And we are going to stamp You Make Me Happy in basic black. Okay. We're going to ink that up. And we are going to stamp that right in the center. Okay. Close this up. Well, maybe I have to see. You know, I know I made sheep ahead, but I know I have these punched heads. I can do that. But yeah, I don't know what I did with them. It's been kind of the last 2 days have been a week. Just a lot of stuff going on. We have, Paul and I have an elderly neighbor who's been needing a lot of help lately. And so Paul's been running back and forth to the hospital, and she has a 41-year-old son that needs help. He's sort of special needs, I guess you would say. And so we've had a lot going on lately. Okay, so we have the head. Now let's take my template. I suppose I didn't have to use the head, but I know I did my pieces of paper here. Okay. I guess I didn't need to punch that head out. I can save that for one of the other cards. Okay. So I've already picked these up, so I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to go right in my template. Okay. And then I'm going to punch this out. And now we do want the bow for this card. So I'm going to make sure that I've got these all lined up. Just like so. And let's punch. Okay. There we have our body, and we have a head, and we have a bow. Okay. So now I'm going to color. I'm going to close this up. Yeah, Laura, we are. I just, you always should help your neighbors. And they just, she just lost her husband, and now they've had to put 2 cats down in the last so long, and just there's been a lot. So I'm using Pretty in Pink, and I'm just going to use the dark. I think this is the dark. Yep. I'm just going to color in the little bow. Okay. And then since we are using Pretty in Pink, I'll just use that for the light for his ears and his nose and his cheeks. I'm going to go over this a little bit more. Give it a little bit more color. Okay. So now we are going to give these dimensionals. And I am, Paul's been the one that's been doing all the heavy lifting, so to speak. And now on your sentiment, I'm going to put one on each side, not in the middle, because this is going to go over our full bow. Okay. So I just hope and pray that things work out for Marianne. All right, so we're going to put our sheep there on the left-hand side of the square. I'm going to put his head. Now I put see, look at what I mean about me getting ink everywhere all the time. So I put the dimensional towards the top of his head, and then so that I can go over like this. And then that way I can sneak his little bow, little ribbon underneath his little chin there. Okay. It's going to go like that. And then I'm going to add a little bit of seal right here. And then I'm going to take the piece of baker's twine, and I'm going to, if you've never made a faux bow, you go like this, make it, put it together so you have a loop. You take your finger like so, and I'm going to put it at an angle and lay it down, and then you're just going to make loops like you're making a bow. And that's how you make a faux bow. Okay, and we're going to put our sentiment right over the top. Just like that. And it's okay if he goes over the sheep a little bit. And then I'm going to take my scissors and we're going to trim that. Just like so. Then we're going to take these. I love these. You guys use these yet? They're called the Moody Palette Glossy Dots. I just love these. We're going to use the white ones on here. And we are going to put a big one up here at the tip of the square. Then we're going to take another big and put it right here. And then we're going to take a little and put it next to this big. And there's this card. Card number 2. Isn't that cute? I just think that's so cute. Okay. Okay, the crooked pieces are hard for me because it makes it hard on my eyes. Yeah, I know, Lori. I totally get it. But I love the look and don't mind trying doing it. Tulips are out in the stores. A wonderful pick-me-up for anyone. I got my future daughter-in-law some on Monday. Oh, how sweet. Oh, tulips. So, so fun. Okay, so now we are going to move on to card number 3. And this oh, see, look at what I just did. Remember I said about the ink and now I just got it all over this envelope. Okay, so in your kit, you will receive, okay, I don't want to get it. This is, I think, would make such an awesome, I was going to say birthday card, baby card. It says, welcome cutie. And I use fresh freesia and pool party. So this could be for either a girl or a boy. Oh, thanks, Lori. You can definitely, this could be for a girl or a boy. You could switch it up and make it all pink or all blue, pool, whichever. But I just thought this was so, so cute. So you'll receive a pool party card base. You'll receive a piece of basic white for the inside of your card. You'll receive a piece of basic white that has been embossed with the all in the row embossing folder. You'll receive a piece of the Subtles DSP, the pool party. You'll receive a piece of, now this is the new pastel shimmer cardstock. And this will be die cut for you, and this is die cut with one of the dies from the Lovely Arrangements die set. And a piece of white baker's twine. Now, when I first designed this card, I used fresh freesia that comes in the Subtles family DSP pack. Well, of course, I went looking high and low yesterday, and I don't know, I must have used the last piece is the only thing I could think of. So I cut a piece of bokeh. This is from the bokeh, what is it called? Beautiful bokeh DSP. And this one is cut from the Lovely and Beautiful DSP. And now I can't decide which one I like more. I think this is pretty similar to the Splatter DSP, but I would like to try the flowers because of the flowers that are in the embossing folder. So, but in your kit, you'll receive both of these. So you can decide which one you like better. Okay, so first let's fold and burnish our card base, which is Pool Party. Okay. And then I am going to add seal to my basic white embossed panel. And I'm going to remove a seal. Of course. I always think, oh, I'll put a brand new one in, even if it's not used, and then I just don't, because then I think, oh, I'm going to lose the other one, and I thought, oh, it really doesn't take that long to change them out. What I should have 2 of them going, and use one for, making stuff all the time, and then one for classes. That's what I should do. Okay. Put this together. And add our seal. And ta-da. Okay, so we're going to put this on our card front, just like that. And then I'm going to take my piece of Pool Party. I'm going to add seal onto that. And if you want it, you could use the other side too, if you wanted to use the flowers on this side and then, like, whichever one. I like the subtleness of this. And now this I'm going to just kind of, the middle-ish, the center. I'm going to put that just like that. Then I'm going to take my strip, and that's going to go over the top, but I am going to cut a banner end in this. Okay, and we're just going to cut up and then cut to the side, turn it over and do the same thing. And there's our banner. Okay, so let's add seal to that. And then when we get this all finished, you're going to have to let me know which one you guys like the best. And then I'm going to put this 1/4 inch. And now if you wanted your banner to be a little bit shorter, you definitely could. Cut a little bit, off the top before you lay it down. Put that down, and then we're going to take our die cut circles. I love this die cut so much. I'm in love with it so much. I'm afraid I've been using it on so many cards because it makes seriously like cute scallops when you cut it apart, and it's just, I love it. And now I am not going to put dimensionals on every one of these circles. You could if you wanted to, but I am just going to go like this and then like this, so it's middle-ish. And we're going to peel these off. You know what? I think I was missing out of my card kit, and I have to remember so that I put it in your guys' kits, is the little piece of fresh freesia for the sentiment. Okay, so this piece here, I am going to put that not in the center of the DSP. I'm going to go up probably 1/2 inch, and I'm going to go over, not, I'm not going all the way to the edge of the banner. I'm going like this. Put that down. Okay. I'm going to look in my envelope and see if I really truly did not put it in there. All right. No, that's okay. I've got fresh freezer right here. And we will cut our sentiment. I think we have probably 1/2 inch. Just going to take that and cut it like so. Okay. Then we're going to take our Welcome Cutie, and we are going to ink this up in our basic black. And then I am going to go towards the right hand side, towards the end, but leave enough space to banner cut it. Okay. Close this up. And then I am going to, as I did before, I'm just going to cut a little banner end by snipping up the middle, then going from the corner up until the point where you cut. And then I like to flip it over and do the same thing. And then I am going to cut some of this off, probably about this much. And then we are going to punch another sheep. So here we have another sheep. Okay. I'm trying very hard to get this lined up. It's probably the hardest part out of all of it, and it's really not even that hard, but I think I'm making it harder than it needed to be. Okay. And like I said, with everything, practice makes perfect, right? Or sort of perfect. And then I'm going to grab my punch. And again, we're going to punch this out. You know, I'm going to find all these punch out sheet after class is over. Okay. Then we are going to punch those out. Okay. Look at that. And now we're going to use the little bow tie again. I just love that little bow. It's so cute. Okay, so we are going to use some Pool Party blends, and I am going to use some bubble bath. Okay, so I'm going to color in again his little nose and his cheeks with the bubble bath and his ears, just like that. Then I'm going to take the Pool Party. We're going to color in the little bow. I'm going to use some dark and some light. Color them. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the light and I'm going to put some shading on the sheep. Now you could do this on all of your sheep and it gives it just a little bit more dimension. And I'm not going to trace around the whole thing, but I'm just going to add a little bit just to give it just a little bit of dimension. And like I said, I'm not going around the whole thing. If you'd like to, you could. And just remember, this does lighten up. And then I'm going to put a little bit around his face, and I'm just going to go real lightly around his face. And I am going to go all the way like that. And I'm going to go up in his little curly cute hair here. All right. Now, this one here, I am going to place him first. And I am going to add the sentiment right, right about there. Okay, so right kind of in there. I'm going to add some seal. I'm going to set that there. I'm not going to push down yet. Okay, I'm going to add some seal to our sheep body. So how you guys doing? Do I still have you? Okay, or have I bored you to tears yet? I'm sure my mom is long gone. All right, so we're going to push this down. I'm going to take the sheep's head and I am actually going to put two dimensionals on here. One towards the bottom and one towards the top. You definitely could use minis here. Kim, hi. I didn't even know you were here. Did I miss you saying hello? You're still watching. Oh, good. Now we're going to take our sheep, our little cute little face, and put him here. And then I'm going to flip my bow over and add some glue. Okay. And we're going to just tuck him right under the chin there. Like that. Then we're going to take our piece of baker's twine. And now that one I did tie a double bow, but I'm going to try it with just the single bow because after I did it, I was like, I don't know if I liked it so much and I didn't want to peel it off. So that is your call. You will have enough to do either way. Okay, tie a bow. We're going to add a glue dot. Put it right there. Okay, and I'm just going to put this right below. It wouldn't let me comment before. You know, Kim, I just don't know about Facebook lately with the lives and stuff because we had troubles at the beginning, and I was telling these guys, I don't know if you were here, but I might have to start going over to YouTube. It's just so unpredictable. I'm just pulling on the ends here just because, I like to futz. Okay. Like I said, you'll have plenty bow or ribbon twine to do a double bow if you would like. Because look at all this extra to cut off. That and that. And we're going to go back to our Moody palette glossy dots. That's a mouthful. And we are going to use white. But now on here, I put them right here. So I'm wondering if we should use, yeah, we'll still use the white. Let's see. Oh yeah, we can still put them on here. That, and one here. And then I'm going to take a little and I'm going to put it right over by the sentiment there. So there we have our third card. What do you guys think? I just love that. And Welcome Cutie does not have to be for a baby card either, but it sure would be cute. Now I'm curious to know, do you like this pattern of DSP with the flowers on the fresh freesia? Or do you like this one? And we would actually use that instead of the fresh freesia subtles, unless I find it. Or do you prefer this? I don't know yet what I like. I think I like them both. I'm not sure. You'll have to let me know what you guys think. Okay, card number 4. Here we go. You like them both? Yeah, see, I do too. That's where I struggle. But you will receive both pieces in your card kit. So, all right. So card number 4, we have the very pretty peach pie for a card base. You will have a panel that will be embossed for you. I can't believe, I don't know about you guys, but when I look up at the computer screen, this looks like a totally different color than what's really truly in front of me. You like both too, Lori, huh? Okay, so then you'll have this embossed with the stripe embossing folder. Oh, I should probably put the card so we can see what we're making, huh? That would be good. This is what we're making. Okay. You will receive a piece of basic white for the inside. You will receive a piece of lovely and beautiful DSP. You'll receive a piece of basic white for stamping. And you'll receive a piece of vellum that will go over the DSP and the card front. Okay, so first we are going to fold and burnish our card. And when I was watching Melissa Faust's video on Tuesday, she made a really good point. Come, I think in April or May, they are going to come out with new colors. So the peach pie, so the Pretty in Pink, Peach Pie, Shy Shamrock, Summer Splash, and Petunia Pop will be retiring. So, yes, that's peach pie. I know. Doesn't it not look like peach pie? Okay, so for this embossed piece, now this striped embossing folder is a 3D embossing folder and it really embosses. It is so awesome. But you have to be ginger with it. So I don't always know my own strength, I guess. But I found that when I use my seal on this, it rips the paper. And not just take, like actually rips it. So I'm going to use liquid glue. And now if you're gentle and you're careful, you can by all means use seal. Because I have. But I just feel like this is that I'm guaranteed I'm not going to rip it. Yeah, you know what? It looks kind of like marigoldish to me too. When I look up at my computer screen compared to what I have in front of me, it looks completely different. Okay, so we have our adhesive, and now this is going to cover the entire card front, and I like to just line it up at the bottom, and you see I have it bent just a little, not a lot, and then I bend it, and then I just let it fall. Okay, so we have that. Next, we're going to add our strip of DSP. We're going to go back to our seal. I just love this DSP so much. This is a really hard DSP because both sides are beautiful for this of DSP. And I'm going to just put this in the center of my card front. And when I say center, I mean center-ish. Okay, we're going to smooth that down. Now we are going to take our vellum, and it will go like that, like this. Okay, so you want the short side. This is the short side, this is the long side. You want the short side at the top. Now, I am only going to put seal in the middle. Otherwise, you're going to see it. We don't want to see it. Okay, and we're just going to line that up so it's straight. Have that. Okay, and now we are going to stamp our sheep. Okay, so I need to get my other sheep body. I'm finally going to use the other die. Okay, that. All right, so one of them is going to be not leaping with joy, and the other one's going to be leaping with joy. He's saying, you're simply fabulous. All right, so we're going to ink this up, and we're going to go. I didn't go all the way to the bottom. I went just a little up, but pretty close to that left-hand side. Okay, then we're going to ink him up again, and this time I'm going to make it seem like he's leaping. And we're just going to kind of go like that at an angle. Okay. Then we are going to take our template again. Since I have them all together, I might as well just, might as well just keep going, right? Right. Okay. And we were going to ink this up. And we're going to go in our template. Stamp. And we're going to punch. And we have an extra head from another time. I just think that's so weird when I say that. We have an extra head. We have an extra bell. I know I have an extra bowl somewhere. Oh, hey, look at there. Remember I said I would find some of this stuff when we were all done? Huh, look at that. Imagine that. All right. So let's punch these out. Because this guy is going to be popped up with dimensionals. Okay. Punch. Set that aside. And now this guy, I am going to, before I pop him up, I am going to take my light smoky slate. You could use Pool Party if you'd like. And I'm going to use the bullet tip, and I'm just going to go lightly, like I did on that other card, and add a little bit of dimension to his wool. You can go wherever you'd like to do this on here. I am going to do it to all three. Like I said, doesn't have to be exact, doesn't have to be perfect. You're just adding a little bit of a shadow to give your sheep a little bit of dimension. We're also going to ground them, so I'm going to just add a little
not straight lines, but just kind of some little scribbles. So we don't want him to seem like he's, floating. He could be floating, I guess. Then we're going to add some little bit here. And if this is something that you do not care for, by all means, it is not necessary. I do highly recommend that you grown them, though. Okay, and we're just going to add some to the little curly cues, a little bit to his face. Do the other one. That. A little bit under here, under his chin. Okay, and just keep on adding our little bit of a shadow here. Kind of went off a little bit. Okay, I think that's good. And now for this one, I used light petal pink for his ears to go with the colors from the card. And we're going to do his nose and his cheeks. I just love that. His little tiny nose. Okay, and his ears. Easy breezy. Okay, so now we need a bow and another bow, and we need a bell. Okay, the bell is colored with Daffodil Delight. If I can get it out, I will use it. So I'm going to color his bell in. And then we're going to add the light. Kind of just shade that in a little bit. Okay. Then we're going to take our peach pie and we are going to color in the little thing that holds the bell. Then one of our bows we are going to color with peach pie. I'm just going to add a little bit of dark color so I can go over it with the light. Just like that. Okay. Then we are going to take our fresh freesia and we're going to color the other bow for the other sheep. I think this is fresh freesia. Nope, this is bubble bath. There's fresh freesia. Now we're just going to color that in. All right. Okay, so now we have all our parts and pieces. We are going to flip these guys over. One body, 3 heads. Ah, too funny. All right, let's get some dimensionals on these guys. I'm going to add 2 to the body. And I'm going to add, let's see, let's go 1 to this head, 1 to this head, and I believe this one I went towards the bottom. Okay. Whoops. All right. Before we do any of this, we need to stamp our sentiment, your Simply Fab You list. And now I'm not using a label. I'm just going to stamp right on our panel of basic white, our focal point. And we're going to ink that up. And this is going to go in the top left corner at the top. Like that. Now we are going to flip this over. We're going to add some seal. And this will go over the top of our vellum and our DSP strip. And you're going to leave just like that. Okay? I'm going to push that down because we're satisfied. And then we're going to peel off our dimensional for our middle guy. And then I do want to take my smoky slate back, and I do want to ground this guy a little bit too. Okay, we're going to
take his head and go like this. Okay, I'm going to take a mini dimensional and put that on the bell. He's really standing out. And we're going to tuck that under his chin. Okay, and I think I'm going to double stack some dimensionals for the top of his head because he looks like his head's like leaning back. Okay, and we're just going to tuck that under our guy here. There, so now he doesn't look like his neck is broke. Okay, so we're going to peel this. One of these guys' heads is going to be going to this away. The other little guy's head is going to be going this way. And we're going to take two bows and we are going to put the fresh freesia on the left with some liquid glue. And we're just going to tuck that right under his little chinny chin chin. And we're going to do the same thing with the peach pie bow. Okay, flip that over. Oops, we're just going to tuck that underneath. Now for this one to embellish it, I am using the pearlized faceted circles. And I am going to use the darker color on here. And we're going to put one here, and one down here. And there is card number 4. So normally we would be done, but I am now going to do a bonus card, and this will be in your kit when you place your order, but I just want you to know this is a bonus card, okay? Because, like I said, I could keep going and going and going and making these cards because they're just so darn cute. I couldn't decide because I actually did make about 7. But I made this one over the weekend because I was trying out a new tool from Stampin' Up. Okay, it is being offered right now to demonstrators. It is a stamp positioner tool. Okay, this we demonstrators right now were able to pre-order this, but Stampin' Up has decided to starting in February, so February 3rd, I believe. If you sign up to be a demonstrator, if you would like to join my team as part of your starter kit, so normally your starter kit is, $99 worth of product, blah, blah, blah. This will be added to that, and you don't have to order it, anything. It will just come with your kit, and it will be free. Okay. Eventually, Stampin' Up! Did say that it would release this to customers. However, they didn't give us a time. They did the same thing with the glass mats. So, yeah, the glass mat. I think a glass mat moved or something. No? Okay. With the glass mats, they did the same thing. They offered them to demonstrators. And then it was part of a starter, like join our Stampin' Up! Exclusive for demonstrators to join, and then they released it to customers. I have to say that this is the replacement for the Stamparatus. This is called the Stampin' Positioner tool. Okay, it comes with, this is your platform right here. Okay, you do not have to get the grid paper, but you can get the grid paper separately. This attaches to the holes on here, and this is already pre-punched. So it's already got the holes in it, you just put it over the top. It has 2 magnets These are so nice because they have the little tabs on them like this. And they don't, if they stick together, they don't break. And they can come apart. So you have that, okay? Then you have, these are acrylic plates. This is your main plate, okay? It has holes, one here and one here, to go into the pegs that are on the board. They are built into the board. They are not removable. And then this end here has springs in it, okay? And I notice I have it upside down. Okay, so there's springs in the feet on this end. And then this goes on these two pegs that are, indented on the left and the right. And then these rest here, the stoppers are already in them. And then see how it, I don't know if you can tell, it's sticking up. So when you're using it, you push down to pick your stamp up, and then you push down again to stamp. So it's all with springs, spring loaded. Okay. Then you have the smaller platform. That is this one right here. And again, it's acrylic. Okay. It has holes at the top, two holes. It has the spring feet here and here. Okay. Now, I this is great for many things, but this is great for hinge stamping, so to speak. So you could stamp and then move it, so on and so forth. Okay. I have used both. It is pretty awesome. So I made this card on Saturday because I wanted to try this out. I was just itching to get into this. So I did all of the stamping. I did two-step stamping. I stamped everything on here using this tool. And now you can just do it how you normally do it, where you use your acrylic blocks and you stamp. Or if you have the Stamparatus, you by all means go ahead and use that. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to open up our bonus card. And like I said, I wanted to do a bonus card. One, it's just too cute. And two, I wanted to be able to show you guys this awesome positioner tool that you can receive for free if you join my team, which is called the Crafty Card Crew, and sign up to be a demonstrator, and you can receive this into your starter kit. So for your bonus card, you'll receive a pool party card base. Okay, you'll receive a piece of pool party that has been cut and embossed with the stripes embossing folder, a piece of basic white for the inside. You'll receive a piece of basic black for your mat, and you'll receive a piece of basic white for stamping. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I'm going to put this on my platform. Now I want to go ahead and wash my stamps off because we're going to need all of the ones that we used, and I think that's dried out. I'm going to grab my big guy, and I am going to clean these all up so that we can use them, because we don't want to get any ink on our paper before we want to, right? So if you've stuck with me, this is, my little bonus because I wanted to show this platform. Normally I do 4 cards and then we're done, but I decided to do 5 this week. So we're going over a little bit longer today. Okay, I think I have all of my stamps cleaned off. Okay, let's put that aside and that aside. And let's put some of this aside. Okay, so I am going to line this up. Just pick any Can't wait to use yours. It came yesterday. I know, Kim, you're going to love it. This is just fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to line that up on my grid paper, and I'm going to put my magnets on where I won't have a stamp. Okay, just like that. So I'm using the regular body, and that's going to go right about there, and I'm not going all the way to the bottom because I wanted to add grass. You don't need to add the grass. If you'd like, maybe you could just put little lines and ground them like we did before. Then we are going to take, oops, wrong body. That will go over here. I'm going to add those just like that. And we want to leave space for our tulips. So we have that. Now I'm going to add my tulips, and part of it will go off the end of the paper. And now I only have one tulip stamp, so we'll have to, do the other one later. Okay, so now I want to take a butterfly, and again, I only have one butterfly, so I'm just going to put that here, like so. Okay, I'm going to move this magnet over just a hair. And I do have a tip for you that if you are using a stamp set for the first time and you have not used it, you want to make sure and get that, the newness off of your stamp so that it does not, when you lift your plate up, the paper doesn't come with it. You'll know what I mean when we start. Okay, so now I'm going to take my sentiment and I'm going to use my favorite one, which is Sending Flowers and Sunshine, and I'm putting that at the top, centering it on my two woolly friends here. Okay, then I'm going to take my main platform, okay, and the Stampin' Up is at the bottom. I am going to put my pegs at the top, and I'm going to push down, and that's going to pick my stamps up. Now, I don't know but the paper is moving a slight bit, but it won't come off. If you had brand new stamps that you've never used, your paper's going to completely move. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to move this over to the side. I'm going to take my black ink, and I am going to ink my stamps up. Okay, then I'm going to close this up, and we're going to do the same thing like we picked our stamps up. We're going to put these right on there, and now you have a chance where you can look again because it's not sitting on your paper because these bumpers are holding it up. The springs are holding it up. Okay, now push down and lift up, and there we have our everything stamped. Okay, so now I still would like to put tulips on this side and the butterfly on this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean them up and do like what we did before, and I'm just going to position them where I want them, and I'm going to move that magnet just a little bit. And see, what's nice is you move that, you don't have to lift it up. Your paper stays in place. It's so nice. And then I want a butterfly to kind of go that way. Now I'm going to clean these other ones off, just like that. And I'm going to remove them. I'm just going to set them over here. Okay. And I'm going to put my platform back on to pick my stamps up. And pick them up, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to ink up our stamps. Not sure if you can see that. We're going to ink that up. And you don't have to press hard because you can do it over again if you miss something. Okay, then we're going to place this back on our pegs and we're going to just push down lightly. You don't have to push hard. And there we have everything stamped and ready. Isn't that nice? I think that is so cool. I just love, love, love it so much. Okay, so I'm going to take these off. I'm going to put my platform on the side. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this other platform, but I'm going to turn this. Okay, now I'm going to do my second two-step stamping. Okay, so I am going to pick a spot and I am going to put my magnets back on, like that. And then I'm going to use the filler pieces. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but for my cards, I use blends for almost everything because I am not good at lining my two-step up. So we have the fill-in body, and we have our tulips, and our tulip leaves, and we have our little curly cue for the hair, which I did not know that's what that was for. And that's it. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I am going to take this body filler and I'm going to line it up on my sheep's body. And now, if you look, there's like a little indent at the top here that has that little peak, and then you have like 3 straight-ish loops. And then I'm just going to look, and I'm going to go over, and I'm going to line that up as best I can. And then I'm going to, our holes are on the left, okay? And we are going to put them on the pegs on the left, and we're going to push down to pick that up. Okay, and I'm just going to hold my paper just to make sure, because I haven't used my filler very often, because like I said, I normally don't use these stamps. I usually just color. Okay, I'm going to do one in Pool Party and one in Petal Pink. So I'm going to take mine and I'm going to push this right over the top to ink it up. Just like you're using an acrylic block. And we're going to put these back in the pegs, except for we want to make sure the pegs are on the left. And we are going to push down. Now, we can be okay with this color, but because we're using the positioner, if you want it to be a little bit darker, you could ink that up again and go over the top. And the same thing, push it down, pick it up, and now you have a slightly darker Pool Party. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to clean this off, because now you would have to clean this off in between each one, whether you're doing it this way or the other way. But now I want a Petal Pink sheep. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to line that up. If you've ever two-step stamped, this is the part, you know. And then now I'm going to use Petal Pink. And we have this. And now the only reason why I'm not doing everything at once is because everything's a different color. And it just, this is easier, I thought. Okay, let's pick our stamp up. Like I said, just make sure you clean in between. And then we're going to ink up our stamp on the platform, or just your super long block. Okay, and then we're going to put this back on our platform, and we are going to push down. And again, we can be okay with that light Petal Pink, but I like it just a little bit darker. going to do the same thing. Okay, just like that. So you see what I mean about doing the different colors, adding them, put the tulips down, and fill them in, the leaves, everything. Because you could do this end at the tulips, you can do this end like that, and you could do those at the same time with the different inks. There are so many other ways to use this positioning tool, but these are the two ways that I have practiced with, um, or that I tried it with per se, and just I just did basic things with it, and I was just floored. And now, when you receive this, you do receive it with, like a somewhat of an instruction sheet. There is a video that Stampin' Up! Does provide for you to watch. But and now, okay, if you know me, you know that I am not good with stuff for the first time. I just knew how to use it. I didn't watch a video. I didn't see anything ahead besides a brochure that showed 4 pictures of how to do it. And then I just put the paper on, put this on. If you've used the Stamparatus before, you kind of have an easy way. It's just super simple and easy to use. It has to be if I figured it out straight out of the box without having to call Melissa and say, have you used the new positioner tool yet? So yeah, it's very easy. Yeah, Lori, I totally get, yeah, sticking with Stamparatus. Um, it'll be nice for people that weren't able to get the Stamparatus. And like I said, join my team. It'll be free. And then you can get 20 to 25% discounts on things and everything. Okay, so we could keep going. I could show you, but you get the gist of that. I do have one done already for you ahead. Magic of television, right? The only thing is we just need to add the heads. All right. And I am just going to, for time's sake, because it is 3:30, I'm just going to add the little piece of hair just with my stamp, just so that we can move along. Okay. And I shouldn't have put these away, but I did. So we're going to add. I, for the longest time, could not figure out, because at first I thought this stamp, this little itty bitty stamp, was for the butterfly, but it was way too big, and I thought, what the heck is this for? And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's for the hair. I mean, seriously, how cute is that? Okay, so we're gonna just stamp some blue, and then we're gonna stamp some pretty in pink. We're gonna clean this off, and then we're gonna stamp the hair on this guy. Okay, and then that's that. And then all I did was I took some fresh freesia and I colored in the butterfly with the light bullet tip, just like this. And you could add your grass to the bottom. Like I said, I'm just kind of speeding this up a little bit. Okay, so there is the new Stampin Position tool. I always want to call it Stamper. I don't know why I want to call it Stamper. Okay, so we're going to fold and burnish our card base. We are going to take our liquid glue for our embossed piece. Let's see, which side do I want to use? I don't think it matters. You can use either side. Okay, we're going to add some liquid glue. Whoops, I just got glue everywhere. Jeez, I tell you. Excuse me. Okay, we're going to add this to our card front, and this will cover your whole card front. So again, I'm just lining this up at the bottom and bending that ever so slightly and then just laying it down. Okay, we're going to take our piece that we stamped and colored, well, stamped and stamped with color. We're going to add that to our basic black matte panel, and this will line up on the sides, and then you'll have your margin here and here. And we're going to flip this over again, and we're going to add seal to the back. So yeah, this card comes together quite simply. This is a great way to make multiple cards. And we're going to put this right in the center, like so. And then, oh, excuse my phone, sorry. And then we're going to take our dimensionals, and we are going to add minis to this, because sometimes those bigger ones, that's just a little too bulky for me. And we're going to go top and bottom. And our pool party sheep is going to be straight on. And our petal pink lady is going to be a little bit off to the side, like so. And then I'm going to use the rainbow embellishments that I don't know where I put. I put them somewhere. They're in a really good place. Why does that happen to me? Oh, they're right here. Jeez. I think I might be getting tired. And now I don't know where my one tool is. Okay, and we are going to use the Fresh Freesia ones again. And now you could use the Pool Party ones if you'd like. I like these because these are the Pool Party ones. There's so many different pretty colors to pick from. We're going to put a big one here, a little one here, and we're going to put a little right there. And like I said, we need to add grass to ground these guys. But that is your 5th bonus card. Thank you guys so much for sticking around and letting me show you the new tool that's being offered. Let's pull in all our cards that we made, show them off. And you have until February 1st to place your order to receive these 5 cards in your card kit. Um, like I said, thank you so much for sticking around and watching. I will be putting this on YouTube if you want to go back and watch it. And if you do purchase the video or the card kit, you'll have the video on YouTube to watch, and you'll have PDF instructions that will be emailed to you for you to follow. Oh, thanks, Kim. So thank you guys so much. And yeah, we're done. Yay! No, I'm just kidding. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.